Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Trump case update. Yesterday was the first day of Trump's criminal trial in New York. We had the first couple hours of him requesting days off. One in particular was for the Supreme Court, the SCOTUS hearing on his immunity claims. The judge very, very quickly denied that request. The second was to see his son, well, Melania's son, graduate from high school. That was also denied. Now, Donald J. Trump has not spent a graduation with any of his children. Don Jr., Eric, even Ivanka didn't have the pleasure of having daddy at her graduation, as well as Tiffany. So we have Melania Trump going to the graduation, maybe with Barron's dad, this tennis pro, but we never know. Anyway, that was delayed, so he is stuck there every single day. It is a criminal trial. He has no choice. So he's sleepy Don. He's going to sleep his days away in court because, sleepy Joe Biden. Now it's sleepy Don. We have a little bit of background going on. Today is a Sandoval hearing. The Sandoval hearing basically revolves around different parts of evidence, whether or not they're brought in, whether or not they're not. Questions and stuff that Donald Trump may be asked while he's on the stand to determine whether or not he's actually going to do that. And jury selection will continue. It'll probably go from about a week to 2 weeks with jury selection. And a little bit of things that go on in these trials. People are using, the MAGA especially is using, well, it's been all this time, so it's got to be fake. He can't be guilty because it took too long to actually bring him to trial. So it's all made up and it's all Biden and all this, blah, blah, blah. Little bit of background. We have a gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Burnham. Jeffrey Burnham was appointed by Donald J. Trump during the Trump administration as a U.S. attorney in Southern District of New York. He was, like I said before, many videos. He went around, he appointed people specifically in the jurisdictions of all his properties in case he needed them, knowing that skeletons are going to come dancing out of his closet while he's president. So this gentleman was actually put in place here. He was the one that investigated everyone in this case. He's the one who prosecuted Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen actually did time for his crime, even though that's where the investigation stopped. It stopped at Michael Cohen because they didn't want it expanding to the other people, especially Donald J. Trump. So when Jeff Burnham was asked to basically gate the scope of the investigation, he fought it. He did not like it. That is why Bill Barr was brought in. Bill Barr was brought in basically to rewrite the case, including the charges against Michael Cohen, so the case wouldn't look as bad moving forward. That was something Jeff Burnham did not want to do, so he was fighting it. Trump also tried to get Jeff to investigate the Democrats, specifically the White House counsel of President Obama. He investigated what Trump asked him. There was nothing there, so he didn't further the investigation. He refused to. He's not going to create anything out of nothing. That pissed off Donald J. Trump, which basically brought Bill Barr into the scene. Barr tried to force him to resign. In fact, he even put a late night, press release out saying that he did resign. And Mr. Burnham actually had to say, no, I'm still here. I'm still here. I didn't resign. This is the way Donald Trump operates. He has to manipulate, puppet master all of these situations. And when it comes down to the investigations, he wanted to make sure it was cut off before it hit him or anyone he felt was important. Michael Cohen was a scapegoat for him, so Michael Cohen went down for it. But that was also part of the reason Michael Cohen got a reduced sentence and got released, because if it kept going, it would have rounded him up and other people with it. Donald Trump also did very similar stuff in D.C. with the U.S. Attorney's Office, because if you remember correctly, Trump's appointments undid the charges against Michael Flynn and Roger Stone, and then they were pardoned. But they manipulated that thing as well. Now, a little bit back into this, we have these big issues with Trump's Trump's diehards that just don't want to listen to any of this stuff. They don't want to believe that their Mango Mussolini, little Donnie Two Scoops actually did anything wrong. So they use this delay as an excuse. And Donald Trump knows his audience. So Donald Trump is like the Biden trials. It's the Biden hearing. It's a Biden investigation. It's Joe Biden's courts. It's everything to demonize the other side, when in fact all of this stuff started when he was in office. All of this stuff pointed to him while he was in office. So he had to create and manipulate boundaries through other appointments, which include firing one guy and hiring another one, Bill Barr. Now Bill Barr has realized the error of his ways, because too much was pointing at him too. Bill Barr also manipulated the Mueller report and everything. This is how it operates. When it gets close to Donald J. Trump, he changes the rules, he changes the players, and he forces it away from him. That has succeeded until now, because he has people that are running these cases that don't answer to him. They won't answer to him, and it will continue to go forward. The evidence that is coming out in this trial the next couple of months is stuff that they fought like hell to suppress, which is why he fought like hell to delay it. If he delays these trials past the election, which he's hoping on winning and planning on winning, he will have more power to squash it like he has in the past. Now, if you remember correctly, his entire career has been riddled with over 4,000 lawsuits. I believe he's the second most sued person in the United States of America. I'll do another video on that later. But we need to recognize this is who this man always has been. Many of us do see it, but the MAGA and the Republicans do not, because they want to believe what they are told, because they feel so strongly in one side of the aisle versus the other, rather than putting America first. If America was actually first with these people, they would actually want to see the evidence. They would want the investigations to be completed without any obstacles, without any manipulation, and without any forceful moves from the powers above. They would want it to go through the eyes of justice, the way it should be. He talks about Biden using the DOJ and using the system against him to suppress his voters from, election interference and all that other crap. And we all know, and most of us know, however, that it's projection. The Republicans, Donald Trump, it has always been about projection. It's like the Chinese money coming into Joe Biden and the Burisma allegations and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden we find $8 million or $6 million from China in this investigation that came up. He's aware of the things that are being looked at pointing towards him. His defense has always been his offense. He goes on the offensive to attack Joe Biden. He goes on the offensive to attack Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels, anyone he can, because he knows the information is coming back to haunt him. And if he muddies the waters and puts any type of question in the process pointing at somebody else, then he thinks he won. We need to pay attention to these trials. We need to pay attention to the information that's coming out. And a little bit of a message from MAGA and Republicans: if you truly feel that you're going country first and you care about this country, you will actually recognize that it's important if any of these allegations are correct, any of them at all. We need to see that. And if you don't have any interest in these trials and you don't want to believe anything is actually true against him, then you are not America first. You are not a patriot, and you certainly don't give a crap about democracy. It's Trump first. That's all it is. It's that simple. So please, stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together, and we all need to recognize we need to fight for this country. It's as simple as that. So God bless. Be safe. Be smart.